Ah, finally back home. Now, if only there was a nice warm fireplace and a comfy chair to rest in. Oh, hello, and welcome back to Vintage Story. You catch me getting home just after a bit of a journey. How about I tell you about it as we gather up some supplies, since speaking of a fireplace, in this episode, I'd like to actually furnish our house and make it a nice space to live in. So come on. Alright. Now, since there's nothing inside there, let's head over to the storage house and check some things out in here. Now, there might be a visitor up here. Oh, there's a couple. Hello, friends. Let's just go ahead and clear out the rabble in the attic real fast. There we go. Grab some of that lovely flax. Let's grab my knife too and just dispose of the evidence, since we don't need them around anymore. Ah, lovely. Good stuff. Now, yes, I went on a bit of a journey. It was quite nice to run you through it, as, yes, the wintry landscape is taking over. I decided I needed to gather up some chalk. So, therefore, I kind of headed down this way, ended up gathering up some chalk over in the mountainsides here, and then Wanderlust hit me, and I couldn't stop, and I just kept going and going and going, eventually making it quite a ways up to the north, and then wrapped around this way and came back down. Now, this journey wasn't all for naught, as I did end up finding some shale. I can't remember where it's at now. It might be covered up by the snow up here, but I did need the shale for some upcoming stuff for the interior of the house, so it worked out quite nicely. I also found a heap load of high fertility soil and some other random ruins with not a ton of stuff in them, and also a few traders. So let's go ahead and take a little peek quick. I quarried up a few big old chunks of chalk stone, and then a whole bunch of granite, and some of that shale, which was nice to find. And let's take a look at the high fertility soil. As you can see, I think we had like 4 stacks, maybe close to 5, but I over doubled, I believe, how much high fertility soil we have now, just with this one trip. It was everywhere, all up and along this. And then I also ended up mining some meteoric iron deposits that I found along the way, as I figured I didn't really want to head back over there anytime soon, so yeah. And then these 2 big old walnuts remind me there was a walnut tree just right here, which I can go ahead and delete that now as I chopped it down. Now, with that chalk, I think I actually already put it in the house, or in the storage house. Maybe it's in here. Yes. I made some mortar, because I figure it's high time to put a chimney on this side and the other side. Plus, it'd be nice to actually get the one over there, which requires some red clay bricks, which I just set up a very temporary little firing spot there. So yes, with these red bricks, I'll be able to make a couple nice chimneys. But yes, with these red clay bricks, we can make the chimney, and we can actually go ahead, grab up this mortar, and make us some of these. I don't know how many I'll actually need, but a stack is a good place to start. And then we got a whole bunch of mortar. And I also made some of the Quarry mod tools, for actually utilizing the slabs of stone here. So I'm going to go ahead and gather up these materials, and then I'll meet you back over on the inside of the house. Well, next morning, got everything gathered up, I believe. So I think it's time to go ahead and get started. We gotta do a little bit of cleanup first, but let's go ahead and start putting down some of the bases. Like that. And I have the brick here. I believe we'll go something like this. Actually, we'll have to move that quick. And then Got pretty much everything ready there. Let's move the lantern. But I think we'll get the kitchen done, and then we'll move out into this room, and then upstairs. Well, we've got a temporal storm approaching, so in the meantime, whilst we wait for that, let's go ahead and, after putting in these nice new kitchen cabinets and drawers, let's go ahead and tear some of them up. As I am planning on using the decorative tables to actually replace these, so that way we can have tables to make like pies on and everything like that. And then I have to remember which one goes where. Okay, not you. It's weird that there's no sound when breaking it. And then, likewise, we've got ourselves some decorative ovens. And go ahead and place these down. Oop, there we go. And then I also have these little, like, I guess, hobs or whatever you'd want to call it, will be replaced with a decorative fireplace, which, actually, let's go ahead and check how you make that quick. So to, like, make the other decorative stuff, you just add the base item, like a table or the oven, and a chisel, and you get the decorative version of it. Maybe we'll have time to slap these down. Not place. There we go. Okay, that was weird. But there we are. Now we've got some decorative fire pits and a temporal storm. I'm gonna grab my knife. I don't know how well this is gonna go. Dave, how you doing? There's a party going on in my attic once again. Jeepers. A lot of denizens I would rather not have to deal with, so let's just go ahead and... Shiver's the worst, probably. There we go. That was interesting, to say the least. Now, I do have some plans to use the new... I think they're cabinets? Yeah. Some of the new cabinets. They're really cool. I think one of the coolest additions. So I need nails and strips. Now, I don't remember... Did I make any? I feel like I did. Yes, I did. Cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look here. I think it is this one I want to make. Yes, so we need, like, in that orientation. Like that? Yep, okay, so I need to make 3 of these. And then, let's see, what's the next one I want to make? I need to make 2 of those. And actually that used up all of our boards pretty perfectly. And then we will pop on over to the house. The trunks will go here, and then I need to put in some wood support beams there. Grab this painting and put it there for now. And then grab these three. So you and you. They're so cool. I'll show you how they work if you haven't seen them yet. It's like that. And then middle ones, and tops. Yeah, so the way that these work is, so for example, let's say I have this hammer. You can actually place the hammer within the, doesn't look like it's actually going to work with that. It's probably because it's a modded item, but you can actually like place items onto the cabinets, which is just such a cool thing. Obviously, not going to use those. Now, can I put like a lamp in here? Oh, you can. That's really cool. What about this lantern? Okay, so you can't put like lanterns, but that's okay. Still really cool. So you can put a lot of like books and whatnot. And for a good example, if I can find them, yes. So we have this tin and this hematite. So let's just grab 2 of each. So I think that these are just really cool kind of treasures, more or less. We can actually just come up here and be like, oh, we can throw the tin one there. Yeah, that's really cool. I think this is such a cool addition and great addition to the game. And then on top of that, we can actually make cabinet doors. So you can make solid ones. So for example, we'd probably go with the walnut just to keep the look, which are actually pretty cheap to make. Or you can make the glass ones, which are also fairly cheap to make. So I think we'll probably put some solid ones on the bottom, but leave the tops just completely open without the cabinet doors. And then same here, add just the one on the bottom. I didn't need all of these to be decorative tables, but you know, if I want to make a pie right there, I can make a pie. So yeah, speaking of pies, maybe we should fire up the old ovens there and actually make some pie, because I don't think I ever made a pie in the last playthrough, and it's not too difficult to do. Let's pop down into the cellar here, which this is also on my to-do list for this episode, is fixing this up. Alright, let's go ahead and get these ovens preheated. I don't think I actually grabbed turnips for some reason. There we go. No, I did not. That's okay. Also, let's go ahead and place this firewood right here. I do think I might actually replace 1 or 2 of these decorative tables. Maybe this one and this one with decorative chests instead. So that way we can actually have some storage in the kitchen. Once again, the QP Chisels mod coming in clutch. But yeah, so you pretty much just preheat the oven, and then we can come over here. We'll need to make 3 pies. So then you put in your filling. I don't have anything else but turnips. So we're having quite the lovely turnip pie. Put a top on, and then you can create a cool little pattern. So let's do that pattern. I think that's newer. And then you pick up the pies, and you just right-click them in. Yeah, pretty much you just keep an eye on it. Now, I know with, like, bread, there is at least I believe there's a good reason to actually kind of over-bake the, when you're making bread, the loaves, because I think they keep better that way, but I believe they might be less nutritious. Not that big of a deal. We got 3 turnip pies. That's pretty cool. And then I believe we can put them down, and then you can right-click to cut them up. You got 12 pieces of turnip pie. I think I am going to go ahead and make 2 decorative chests and put them in there. Now, there are, I think, for decorative chests, there's two. There's the normal one, and there's high capacity, which takes 2 trunks worth, and I don't think that is worth doing at all, because so storage slots are 28, whereas like we look up the trunk, it has 36. So you're, having to use 4 or 2 trunks worth to get significantly less slots. So I don't think that is worth it, but yeah, I think I'm gonna go make those and then do a few other things. I think we're pretty much done decorating the house currently. I still have some work to do on the outside. I've added in a bit of the dry stone, but I need to add in a fair bit more. But yes, as you can see, we have the chimneys finally in place. I even have the one on the smithy. So the one around back is pretty much the exact same as this. But if we go ahead and head inside, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Got all the window, like I said, ledge or lintels, whatever these would be called, installed, along with a bit of chiseling. I can't do a whole lot because if I break any more voxels, then it becomes no longer like a interior house. So we have our nice fireplace and chair, our nice bench and table. I really like the way it turned out, with especially with like the joinery like popping through the edges or the ends. Unfortunately, you can't actually place anything on this little corner table, but I think it makes a nice little addition. And yeah, the kitchen, not much has changed. I made a bunch more pies. I actually have 3 full pies downstairs. And yeah, I have the water in place. Everything's pretty nice there. The vent hoods doing nothing really, but overall pretty nice. And then over here, we just have a bit of storage. I don't know really what will go into these, but anything really. And then a couple beams to finish that off. I still want to put in some like coat hooks. And then I was thinking maybe I could add like a decorative chest here, because I almost kind of want to put a shoe rack type thing here. So a decorative chest may actually work for that, or a little bench to like sit on when you put your shoes on and grab your coat. Yeah, and then we can head on upstairs. This is looking a little bit different. I added in the little railing here, as well as all of the roof trusses or support beams, whatever, and have some lanterns hanging. It might be overkill, but with how many things were spawning in here beforehand, I would rather be safe than sorry. Have the cabinets, and then I did make some cabinet doors for all of these, so that was pretty cool. And then I have some books I want to place up on these cabinets as well. I need to either find, I would prefer to find, because there's a lot of cool what are they called? Planters. Yeah, like these little planters, or like they're also like a plant pot. Yeah, flower pots. I was toying with the idea of adding in like a curtain rod and maybe trying to do some like curtains over each of these, but it might be too much. I don't know yet. I'll have to keep toying around with it. But yeah, otherwise, I think that's pretty much the interior of the house done for now. It'll evolve over time once I get more decorations and whatnot. And the exterior, I think, still needs like I said, needs some texturing or some different blocks with the dry stone put in. But beyond that, I'm pretty happy with it. This building, I don't have any plans for on the interior yet, as it's still just kind of like a catch-all for everything. At least we have all those trunks. So I don't have any like racks or anything planned to try and make this all look better. But let's pop over to the chickens. And we got some Generation 1s. There we go. I figured I'd pick up these eggs because I don't know what generation laid them. So I'd rather not have to deal with the wrong generation. I should actually feed the chickens again, but let's check on the goats quick. But I'll probably go ahead and feed them all the animals, and then, yeah, go from there. Figure out what else needs to be done. There we have it. That's pretty much the cellar complete. I went ahead and added in that like similar door frame to both areas, but overall a very simple cellar design. I like the dark mud brick slabs that we used in the storage building, so I kept it here. Ceiling's very simple with just the oak planks and the pine support beams, so overall not too bad. I plan on expanding further that way to if we need the space. And then I can't really go that way because of the kitchen that steps down, unless I wanted the cellar to step down. I like the stairs. I'm not sure if I want to keep the oak planks. Thankfully, there is a paintbrush from Chisel Tools that you can, if you have a item, like a block in your first hotbar slot, you can essentially like paint it to replace the existing like material that you're looking at. So that's pretty handy. And then I don't know if grass will grow on this medium fertility. I assume I'll have to wait until warmer season. I added a bit of an archway here, added a couple blocks just so that way it would hide the flooring. Allow snow to just float there. Just gonna go ahead and fix this real quick. I believe I should just be able to do that. Yeah, there we go. I'm just gonna warm my toes by this lovely fire. But with the interior of our home looking much more complete, I think this is where we're going to round out this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more of this series, consider dropping a like and subscribing. It would be greatly appreciated. I hope to catch you all in the next episode. See ya!